Now let's do some context switching, and so far we've covered quite a lot. And now let me go ahead and teach you about databases and how to connect to real databases using Spring Boot. The cool thing about Spring Boot is that it gives you many options to connect to various different databases. Whether you want to connect to a cache database such as Redis, you can do it. Postgres, MySQL, so these are NH2, these are like relational databases. And then we have NoSQL databases, and you even saw that we have our fake database, which we're not going to use anymore from now on once we switch to a real database. So if you navigate to spring.io, in here, go ahead and navigate to projects and then Spring Data. So Spring Data has everything with data basically. So right here, in this page, let me just zoom in a little bit. You can see that Spring Data mission is to provide familiar and consistent Spring-based programming model for data access. So basically, it abstracts a bunch of things that we really don't need to worry about, and we just have to focus on writing our business logic and then use their abstraction to persist, retrieve, and manipulate data. So right here we have a couple of projects right here. You can see Spring Data JDBC. So this is like using raw JDBC. You have the Spring Data JPA. So this is the most popular one that people use. And you have LDAP, you've got MongoDB, you've got Redis, and you have Spring Data REST. So this is really awesome as well. But I wouldn't recommend it to use because there's lots of abstraction here. And then you have Couchbase, Elasticsearch, so on and so forth, even Hadoop as well. So the most popular one that I said is Spring Data JPA, and this uses the Java Persistent API, which is the specification that describes the management of relational data in enterprise Java applications. So let me actually click on it, and in here you can see that basically it makes it easy to implement JPA based repositories, and it's super nice, this library right here. And you can go and learn, and they have great documentation as well as samples. However, luckily for you, I have this course right here, which is one of the most popular courses on Amigos Code. And basically this teaches you everything you need to know about Spring Data JPA. What is Spring Data JPA? Connecting to real databases, mapping classes to tables, Hibernate entity lifecycle, queries, paging, sorting, one-to-one, one-to-many, many-to-many, and transactions. So basically this course is packed with awesome content. And if you want to build applications that make their way to production, then you have to master Spring Data JPA. And I'm going to leave a link under the description of this video so that you can check it out. So in here, so what we're going to do is actually connect to the H2 database. I want to make this super simple for everyone to follow along. So I don't want you to install Postgres, nor Mongo, nor MySQL, because if you're on Windows or Mac, then it's going to be a little bit tricky. But in here, let's just focus on H2 database, which is an in-memory database, and we can have all the advantages that you would have with a normal relational database such as SQL and MySQL. So we can have create table statements, select statements, so on and so forth. And we even have a console that we can interact with our data.